No, you're fine, sir. He's still, my father is alive and still very, very white. From Switzerland, my mother, Xhosa woman from South Africa. Yeah, and they got together during this time, which was against the law, but they didn't care, you know? They were mavericks. They were just, you know, they fought the man. My mom was like, woo, I don't care, I want a white man, woo! You know? And my dad was also like, well, you know how the Swiss love chocolate, so he was just... he was in there. And so they got together, and they had me, which was illegal. So I was born a crime, which is something they never thought through, because as a family we couldn't live normally together, you know? Like in the streets, my father had to walk on the other side of the road. He could just wave at me from far, like a creepy pedophile. Just... And then my mom could walk with me, but if the police showed up, then she'd have to let go of my hand, drop me, and act like I wasn't hers. Every time, just so we wouldn't get caught. Be like, woo! She'd be like, I don't know. It was horrible. And one of the punishments for this crime was I was never afforded a race. I was never called black. I was never called white. I got horrible names like mixed breed and mutt and half caste, and you know, it was a horrible time for me. And one fateful day, I'll never forget, I met an American in South Africa. And he said to me, he said, well, you know, Trevor, it's funny you say that because if you come out to America, they'll label you as black. I said, really? And he was like, hell yeah. Oh yeah, everybody's black out there. And I was like, wow, well, I want to be black. And I found out it's true. Mixed race people are categorized as black. I took the first opportunity I could. Bought myself a plane ticket from South Africa, and I said, I'm going out to America. I'm going there, and I'm going to be black. And I got on that plane. It was an 18-hour flight, 18 hours of non-stop flying, and I sat there in my chair, and I spent every moment practicing being black, just practicing. I was like, I'm not going to mess up this black opportunity. I just sat there, just working through everything. I was watching every black movie and TV show, just going through it. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. What you talking about, Willis? I was grinding. You laugh, but 18 hours of flying, and I landed in JFK, and I was fluent in my black American. For shizzle my nizzle. I was walking around. I was so black, I was even laughing black. I was like, ha, ha, ha. Yeah. My man. Ha, ha. Should have seen me. It was like, oh, this you? This you? That has to be the personification of cool, in my opinion. There's nothing cooler. Black Americans are so cool, they can make you feel good about yourself just by asking if you are you. You don't believe me? Get a black American man to come up to you and just be like, hey, yo, this you? Nah, this you? This you? This you? And you'll be like, I think it is. It's magic. I was that black. Not just any black, but the coolest black in the world, and that's American black. I can say this with confidence, being from Africa. I know black. I'm well versed in the arts of black. I'm from the black factory. I mean it. I've seen every kind of black, from light black all the way to like navy blue black. I know black. And there's no cooler black than American black. Nothing cooler, you know? Because American black people, I mean, you just look at how much they've done to influence modern day pop culture, you know? Small things and the bigger like. You look at the music. You've got, you know, jazz, hip-hop, R&B, all black Americans, style of clothing, you know, just this general swag that they've brought to everything. Even small things like walking. I mean, walking is such a mundane activity, isn't it? It's just very... There's nothing cool about this thing. You just move from one place to the next, and pretty much everybody can do it. This is it. There's nothing. And then black Americans came along, and then they just added in that bounce, and all of a sudden you look really cool. You just, you know, you look like you have a purpose. You've just got that. Yeah, look at this. It's super cool. And it must be hard for an assassin to kill you. Just like. That's why if you look in American history, no black man was ever assassinated whilst walking, ever. It was when they stopped and said something. Bang! That's when they were, because they got to walk. That's why if you look, Obama, every time he comes out of the jet or makes a speech, he's always just got that little bounce just before. Because in his head, he's like, you never know, you never know, you never know, you never know, you never know. Not the walk. It's a cool walk. And by far, the coolest thing of all is the talk. I've listened to Black Americans, and it's the most amazing use of the English language I've ever come across in my life. Because they pay no regard to punctuation whatsoever. Just cruise through sentences. It's fantastic. First time I had a conversation with a Black American man was in Baltimore, Maryland. This guy walked up to me after the show. He didn't even walk. He just floated in. Just came up to me and was like, hey, yo, babe. Hey, yo, hey, yo. Yo, let me holler at you for a minute, man. Let me holler at you. I said, okay. He's like, man, I ain't even gonna front, man. I ain't gonna front. I came out here, dude. I ain't even know who you was, man. I didn't even know. As I heard the show, I bought my girl. We was out there. You came out there. You were doing your thing. I was like, yo, man, I ain't even know they got them yellow bones out there in the motherland, man. I was like, yo, this kid better be funny, man, but I ain't gonna lie. You came out there, you was keeping it coming, keeping it moving. You was just beasting. I was like, all right, man, maybe this kid is the truth, yeah? This kid was doing his thing. He was keeping it out there. I started laughing. My girl was killing herself. I was like, all right, this mofo got flow for show. You know what I mean? And I was like, no, I don't. But I love it. It's the most amazing use of English I've ever come across in my life. Just that one word alone. Just the strength of that. Nah, mean. Do you know what I mean? You nah, mean. It sums it all up, doesn't it? It's just, neither question nor statement. It's just, like, why have we been wasting our time with syllables for so long? I don't understand. That's what I was, man. I was that black. You should have seen me. Just walking around the airport, shouting random things. Brooklyn! I didn't even know where that was. I was super black. So some guy came up to me and he was like, oye, papi! Ya llegamos, Pecado conocemos! I said, what? He's like, yo, man, we made it, man, we made it. And now that we're here, our kind, we got to stick together, man. Our kind. 18 hours of flying and I still wasn't black. I was Puerto Rican. My dreams were dashed. And I thought it was a once-off, but it's not, Go around on the East Coast, places like Miami. Oh, that's the worst for me. Walk around the streets of Miami and I see people look exactly like me and, they see me, I see them. We give each other that look of home, like. Guys come up to me, they're like, hey, ¿qué pasó? ¿Qué pasa con los celos? Like, whoa, 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 whoa. Yo, I don't speak Spanish, man. I was like, what? You don't speak Spanish? I said, no, I don't. She's like, you should be ashamed of yourself. I said, no, I shouldn't be ashamed. It's not my culture. I'm actually South African. He's like, South African? Like you were born there? So yeah, my whole life. He's like, Africa? So yeah, he's like, Africa? I said, no, the one next to it. Yes, Africa. He's like, oh, man, you don't look like you're from Africa, man. So what the hell is that supposed to mean? He's like, I don't know. You look like you grew up in the shade, man. That's what people expect, isn't it? Yeah, that's what everyone expects. When they hear Africa, that's all they think. Those are the images they see. So, this next comedian is from Africa. And people think a guy in leopard skin will come running on the stage. Let me tell you monkey jokes. And it's not like that, It's not. I mean, I do have good monkey jokes, but that's not what I'm saying. That's not the point. Just everyone has these images of Africa, and it's not your fault as Americans. I understand that as Americans, like, you don't know much about South Africa. I've realized this in my time here. You don't know much about Africa as a whole, which is, you guys don't know much about anything, but that's not your fault. It's just you guys are so big and America-centric, you know? And you don't get outside images. You don't see anything. In fact, in my time in America, the only thing I've seen of Africa is always those ads. Have you seen those commercials? Those UNICEF ads have you seen those? They're asking you for the money. I hate those ads. They don't even warn you that those things are coming on TV. I'm sitting there enjoying myself, watching comedy shows, and the next thing you know, you just see this horrible village. It's just dirty, and there's old rusting buildings, and these sad black people, and I'm looking, I'm like, ooh, where is that? Cleveland? And then a thing comes up, and it's like, Africa. I'm like, really? Where? And they show you the starving people, and it's always the same. They've always got the starving look. They always do the pose. They've always got that, like, why haven't you called look? One by one. And they show you these people, and there's a starving mother and a starving child, and it's horrible. And then there's a celebrity. There's always, the most important thing is a celebrity who comes out. And they speak for them. You know, that way we'll understand. And the one I saw was Penelope Cruz. She was the celebrity. She's beautiful. Oh, and she came out, and the starving mother and child were there, and Penelope came out. She was next. Well, she wasn't next to them. It was blue screen. But she wanted to be there. She walked out. She pointed, and she was like, "This is Africa. Did you know every year more than 5 million children in Africa die of waterborne illnesses and diseases that could have been prevented? You can make a difference in this child's life. I know you're sitting at home, and like me, you're saying, Ba Penelope, I'm so far. What can I do to help? Well, I'm here to tell you, it's easier than you think." And it's a wonderful message, and she's beautiful. I'm really trying to pay attention to this, but for the life of me, I can't concentrate because I'm watching, and out of the corner of my eye, there's this fly that's just buzzing around. It's buzzing, and she's just ignoring it, and the fly is there on the eye. How does a fly sit on your eye? You see with the thing in the mouth, and I can't concentrate. How do they get the fly there every single time? Can somebody tell me this? In every ad, in every single ad, the fly is there, and it's always in exactly the same place for the entire ad. I can't get a fly to sit still in my kitchen for 4 seconds, and I sneak up really slowly. But they can get the fly to sit there every single time they film. I'm starting to think it's like a trick fly. It's a Hollywood fly, isn't it? One of those trained creatures from Disney. I know what those guys are capable of. I've seen Lassie. A trained fly. They probably got the fly on lockdown. They're ready. They get everybody together. They got the starving people. They're like, okay, we're ready to shoot. Where's the fly? Here, sir. Here, sir. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Get it. And stay. Action. Did you know every year more than 5 million children are starving? It's horrible. I hate those ads. Hate the people who make those ads. I mean, there's people starving everywhere in the world. But you know, you can give them a bit of dignity. You know, and I hate the people in those ads as well, because they make Africans look bad. Yeah. And I can say that. You go, oh, but don't hate them, they're starving. No, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I really don't. Because people starving everywhere. And I grew up in a black family in Africa. And no matter how poor or hungry we were, we could still do this. Make us look bad. Flies. Gangster flies. Look like they're doing shout-outs. Have you seen them? It's having a good time in front of the camera. That's the worst thing in the world. That's all you see out here. Because I'm fascinated. I think that whole identity has from the term African American. This is something that's fascinated me. You know, it's the very loose term, African American. Because half of the time you use it for people that aren't even African. You know, just use it as long as you're black, they go African American. But what if people aren't from Africa and they're still African American? You know, there's people from the Caribbean, from Haiti, from Jamaica. You know, they call it, yeah, African American. Guy's like, no man, I come from Jamaica, I know from Africa. I ain't never been there for, man. He's like, you want to stay? African American, man. Yeah. The prefix to American has become as important as American itself. I thought it was just American, but it's not. No, it's very important. You have the prefix. You know, you have African American. You have others like Latin or Mexican American. You have Asian American. You have, the most interesting for me was Indian American, which I learned about during Thanksgiving. Indian American. And then I was told I'm no longer allowed to say this. Said, I now have to say Native American, which is redundant, is it not? Because if somebody's a native of the land they're still in, should you not then just call them American? How does that work? It was the strangest conversation to have, sitting around carving the turkey and just going, I don't understand. I can't say Indian American. He's like, no, Trevor, you look, you don't want to say that. You want to say Native American. Yeah, it's a better term. I go, oh, well, who called them Indian American? Well, we did. Oh, I see. And then who changed it? Well, we did. I see. And you guys feel better? Yeah, much better. Much better. This is the craziest thing in the world, changing it, you know? The prefix. And I mean, I don't mean to offend anyone. As Americans, I hope I see some guys looking at me like, okay, move on, guy, move on. Yeah. Because that's the one thing. Because the one thing I noticed is white people in America, you never got the prefix. What happened there? You guys got left out? Oh, that's horrible. And it's a first. There's nothing? You guys don't get a prefix? No. Sir, you don't want one? No? Just American? No? Euro American? No? Although, I mean, to be honest, Europeans would be like, no, they are not from us, please. No. No culture, they are not European. So then I get Anglo from the British. Anglo-American, is that more? No, you don't want Anglo. I don't know, Anglo-colonial American, is that? Imperial American? Imperial? Death Star American? No, I'm kidding. That's the American, but sports is just nuts. Wow. You guys love your sports out here. I've never seen more focus put on sports anywhere else in the world. Americans love their sports back to front. You analyze them, you worship them, you watch the game before the game, you watch the game after the game. You talk about what might happen in the game, you talk about what's happening in the game, and then you talk about what happened in the game and what could have and might have but didn't happen in the game. It's just the craziest thing I've seen in my life. It's all about statistics. Have you seen sports in America? Non-stop. Guys just come out there. There's no time for smiles or anything. Just come out. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it. It's the 2012 Miami Heat up against the OKC. This is the greatest final we've been waiting for in the NBA Finals. LeBron James leading his team out here, averaging 30 points, double-double every single game, 10 points per game, just in assists alone. This man is just something else. 90% from the free throw line. He's just gone in. He's statistically gotten better. His team coming in with more. Chris Bosh coming in with more assists, really doing well in the last game. Just like, wow. Numbers, stats. You guys know everything, every stat. Well, I mean, he's got 4 out of 5, and I mean, if you look at that statistic alone, it looks like he should be getting 4. He should be, and then it's just crazy. You know everything, and then you switch over to like your business channels and your economy, and you're like, what's happening in the economy this year, Bob? Well, nobody knows. I mean, nobody knows. Yeah.